Razy, and then we've also got, of course, Kilson taking on base and some good NA action to top off the day with Chain versus Saigib.
So at this point, we may as well take a look at the schedule of the day, right? So our first matchup is going to be Tox versus Avec. I know quite a few people in chat were already talking about that before the show went live. Shouts to you guys. Up next will then be Genic versus Dewey. Then it's Dramis and Nosfer, and then Cooler versus CNZ for kind of the first half of the day. Quite an important matchup for CNZ, and we'll explain why a little bit later. Now, as we go into the second half of the day, Zeneku versus Dahang, another important matchup for Zeneku. Razy and Wenger, the Maestro matchup, as you quite rightly pointed out. Base versus Kilson, which has all means, I think, to be maybe our absolute most competitive match of the day. And then the final game, Chain and Saigib, two players that are definitely on the higher end of the Americas going head-to-head, and we'll see who's going to get the win there. Should be a good day.
Oh, it should be a very good day. And if he keeps pushing and pushing and pushing against the Avec wall to get himself a frag on the board, I think he will just start growing that deficit of frags.
Well, it looks like the warm-up is coming to a close. It's going to be Avec and Toxic for our first matchup of the day here. Week 9, Quake Pro League. We're going to get this show on the road, and Tox with Avec on the corrupted keep. Looks like the fight towards LG is already going to take place. It is Tox that's able to kind of get the weapon first, but lacking armor. He has to be very, very careful. Sitting pretty near the turret just a little bit, but Avec using the dual wield to just force his way out and get back to a safer distance. And good thing for Avec, I mean, he's in that kind of pickup room, right? There's plenty of little lights to pick up. And let's not forget that BJ on this map can be really efficient because on top of the lights, you've got that passive that regenerates some of his health as well.
Yeah, that was a clever first engagement from Toxic because he knew that he was the only one with the heavy machine gun, which is the go-to long-distance weapon on this map. Avec, though, quicker on the recovery, getting himself the heavy, immediately punishing Tox off the spawn. This will be another frag for the Polish Prince. And this is something that Corrupted Keep is known for. It's a map where once you get a few frags, you can easily snowball it into a sizable lead. So Toxic has to put an end to that now. Avec doesn't want to give up his position just yet. Does a lot of damage. Both players pretty low. Shotgun, can he clutch it out? It will indeed be Toxic landing the final few bullets that he needs. We're already seeing 3 frags in just barely over a minute.
That's the Corrupted Keep effect, I think. It's such a combat-heavy map. The emphasis on being able to just make sure you can try and snowball in any given opportunity, but at the same time, you've got to be so careful with your own stack. Yes, there's tons of ways to get it back up, but if you take too much damage, you have to be pretty careful when the opponent spawns. Floor is lava in chat. Avic's going to go down. Tox is going to make things 2-2. And it's like you said, right? We're not even 2 minutes in, and we've already had a complete back and forth of these frags, trying to push forward towards the Mega. Mega is going to get taken. Tox, how much damage is he going to be able to do? Actually forcing Avec away. Avec just being able to collect a little bit of armor there. Tox still alive, barely. Has to be very careful at this stage.
And Avec right now doing a decent amount of damage. Neither player really setting apart the items or getting a good rotation going. Avec, the dual wield coming clutch once again. Like this play from Avec too, not immediately going for the item, but instead trying to pepper a bit of damage onto Toxic first. Unfortunately for him, Mega is still up for the taking. Toxic has been delaying it all this time, will finally pick it up. And for the first time this map, we actually have somewhat of a sizable delay between Mega and Heavy. This is something you very often see on Corrupted Keep. Towards the start of the map, it's just an open brawl up until these kinds of delays start mounting and you see one player really get into control.
Now Tox being knocked away again. You have to be so mindful with a map as, I think, real heavy machine gun heavy as this is. You've got to make sure your armor's topped up. You really can't afford to just get shredded down if they're playing that ranged game. Sounds like a turret's going to get dropped down here with Avec. Here's the Mega get taken, and that's going to immediately proc the dual wield. And if he was going to push forward, we had to make sure there was plenty of damage to try and fight back. But Tox actually sitting pretty, waiting out the dual wield, and now he's going to be a little bit safer to play this long-range game, so he can safely push away, of which he's going to do. But he gets a good call, a really good call on the jump down. Has to be careful for these defensive rockets. Avec only has 1 rocket left, actually.
Avec definitely has to switch onto the defensive right now. Toxic is the one who has secured 3 of the final major items, swooping in to pick up another Mega, which means that Avec is 2 rotations dry of any major boost towards his health or his armor, and he has to make do with the small pickups around the map. Definitely playing a little bit more carefully right now, caught out with the wrong weapon. Has to to switch to the LG at the last possible seconds. Got the height advantage, but Toxic landing some excellent rockets. Is either player going to commit? It will be Avik as Toxic creeps its way out of the room, actually stuck in a really bad position, and Avik knows this. He will clean up his opponent. Perfect textbook out of control play from rockets. Is either player going to commit? It will be Avik as Toxic creeps its way out of the room, actually stuck in a really bad position, and Avik knows this. He will clean up his opponent. Perfect textbook out of control play from the pole right there.
Still has to be very, very careful. It may just be a nail gun, but it's going to do that much, a ton of damage with Avik, as weak as he was. But, I mean, I guess victories, he was still able to get Tox incredibly weak, and actually at this point, get a really good call out on where he's going to retreat to. He's going to pick up a little bit of health. There's still no armor. That's why we're sitting around near Heavy to try and get it. He's going to push in Avik. Very aggressive, and he has been able to deny this Heavy. The question is, can he escape with his life? Ooh, Tribal almost said no, but Tox still left with no resources. Avik in and out. He's taken the objective. That's what he wants. He wants the armor. And now Tox continuing to lick his wounds, but the defensive nails running right into it. Tox is able to stabilize a little bit. How about that?
That was a bit too aggressive of a play from Avik. Definitely overextended when he could have fallen back on the Mega instead, but he was hungry for the damage, knew that Toxic was kind of stuck behind that corner, and he wanted to punish that missed position a bit more, but he wasn't counting on the Toxic rockets finding their mark so perfectly. Still Avik, one frag in the lead, but he's missing that heavy machine gun, and that is a weapon he desperately wants. I like the sneaky play right here, looping around Toxic, getting himself onto the Mega. Can he survive just long enough? He will. Pushes the Swedish Terminator out of the room, and Avik has a good opportunity to get himself solid control of both the items right here.
Especially from this situation, Tox incredibly weak. Avik is pushing in. Any damage that Tox does at this point is going to be just bonus damage. You know, with Avik being all over him like that, you are going to go down. You weren't going to escape. And now Tox really absolutely gets some delicious machine gun damage. It's not going to be enough, as Avik is still going to be able to take this one forward and continue his lead. Oh, that rocket hurts. 100, just like that.
Yeah, Avik left on 2 points of health, but still in the game, punishing Toxic hard, but you gotta be careful. Tribolt coming out strong. A full Tribolt blast at maximum damage deals more damage than a direct rocket to the face. You can't ever forget that. And Toxic making a stand right there. Slowly starting to close the gap. 4 minutes left for just 2 frags, perfectly possible, especially on a map like Corrupted Keep. But he's got to play it a bit careful because he knows that he is outstacked right now.
Here comes the push again. Maybe Tox an opportunity to maybe use that distraction of the turret, but maybe at this point might just delay the inevitable because Avik's going to push. Here come the rockets. No! Caught swapping weapons. Avik's going to get him again.
Solid play from Avik right there. Big part, or the big deciding factor right there, was that Tox didn't have the lightning gun, and that is of course the key mid-range weapon. If you don't have it, you can't take these kinds of engagements, and Avik knew he played it from a medium distance to begin with, did so much damage, and then just pushed in for the kill shot. Avik now extending his lead. Toxic, though, going really aggressive. Will actually find the frag there as well. Toxic. It's a pendulum. Ketchup is just going back and forth.
He's always making sure to exist around these important items too. You know, he's kind of not really allowing Avik to simply get a frag, get these items, you know, run and get this large amount of control and, you know, start to outstack and all this classic stuff that normally someone would set themselves up for to get a whole bunch of frags back to back on this map. Tox is always around. You know, he's always around to be annoying or get this damage or get a push like he did in the previous frag, but now Avik looking to back off just a little bit. So many ways to get your stack back up on this map. But what does he do in this situation? Avik tries to push forward, actually. Oh, that Tribolt. Who's going to get the final hit? Avik. He's going to heal up. Tox has to be very, very careful here. The Mega in play. Can he get it? No, he can't. Not quite. Avik does beat him to the punch.
That's a shame for Tox. He actually had the time to get on there first, but he miscalculated how far Avik was and just slowed himself down with that spam of the rockets. If he had just gone for it, he would have made it onto the Mega first, but Havoc was and just slowed himself down with that spam of the rockets. If he had just gone for it, he would have made it onto the Mega first, but didn't quite manage to pull that off. Out comes that new shoddy skin, looking beautiful, but it won't be enough. This is about more than just looks, as Havoc is extending his lead ever further. And 1 minute 30 left on the clock. This is looking dire for Toxic as he goes down once more. And now Havoc, a solid 5-point lead.
It's always a little bit insane how you actually look at the damage being dished out. The Tox, it's 5 versus 10, whereas Tox has done about 600 more damage at this point. He's technically been out-damaging Havoc, but as you can clearly see here, not really mattering much here at all. And even when it comes to control, actual like owning the items, there have been definitely more megas going into the favor of Havoc, but the heavies have been pretty evenly split.
Havoc has just been making the most of the positioning. Really, usually when it's Havoc securing a frag, he's got something to fall back on instead, and he can manifest himself on the map and avoid Tox even if he is playing on the back foot and is the weaker one in those situations. And that is something that Tox has not been able to replicate. And even when you do more damage, and even when you do manage to pick up a similar amount of items, still, doing it at the wrong time won't get you very far, and this is just a perfect map to illustrate that.
And from this point, Avic's just going to play that runaway game. And you know, the map's already done for sure, but let's just prevent giving up any bonus frags for Toxic here. Just continue to cycle the map, let him chase. Really nothing you can do at this point. Oh, some nice little bonus damage at the end. But 7 seconds on the clock, the map is done and dusted. One more frag for good measure, and that's going to be Avic taking map number 1 here. So already in a good spot. Couple more of those and he'll be laughing, I think.
Absolutely, we said it at the start, right? Havoc has just been looking so solid in the past few weeks, taking down Cooler 3-0 just last week and then beating Vanguard the week before, so the man is clearly on a rise, performing extremely well, whereas Toxic just has really been struggling, and I think we can really see Havoc carry that momentum through in this first map as well.
I think this is the best time for a player in this kind of situation to really be on the rise too, because we're so close to the Stage 4 finals. And, you know, we're now dawning on these final weeks. You know, this isn't the final week. This is still week 9. But from this situation, I mean, we're going into those final moments. Avic is looking arguably now better than he's ever looked in Quake Pro League all year round. And now we're right about to enter the big finish, you know, that big finale. So Avic's going into this one as a bit of a, I think, a bit of a sleeper hit. And now people are like, well, look, Avic has always been a god for a reason. And now as we go into the Stage 4 finals, if he's on this form, then who knows how far he can take it. And this is just one map. You know, we've got 2 more maps to get through, but he's just looking incredibly strong.
I mean, we do always say, right, Corrupted Keep, it's his own thing. It can really go either way with just how easy it can snowball out of control, so you pay too much attention to the scoreline on Corrupted Keep when estimating how the next few maps are going to go down. But I fully agree with what you said. Avic is looking absolutely spectacular. We all know it, right? The weeklies, they're important. They determine your position on the leaderboards. They can determine the seeding going into the finals. But really, the finals is where people play for keeps. It is where you play people from the other region as well. So that is what really matters. So if you're kind of delivering a middling performance at the start of an online stage, okay, that sucks.
Vote now. Prepare for draft. Your pick. Prepare to fight. Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Fight.
Aus dem Weg!
First blood. Lead taken.
Hast du nicht kommen sehen, was? Die Waffe ist bereit.
Impressive. Combo kill.
Auf dem Weg. Besser nach Hause. Sakana.
Handyman. 5-minute warning.
bereit. Aus dem Weg!
Tied. Handyman.
Das war so nicht geplant. Uns angeschaut.
Lead taken.
Waffe ist bereit.
Titan.
Gerne nach.
Weapons factory. 1 minute warning. Master. Handyman. Tank. Killing spree.
Prost.
That is what really matters. So if you're kind of delivering a middling performance at the start of an online stage, okay, that sucks. But if you can then turn it back around and put out your best games towards the end, as Avik is clearly doing now, that is very promising.
Well, I remember when when there was that point where Avik was in danger of relegation, and we're sitting here and we're like, it's weird to say that. It was almost like a Cypher effect, where talking about Avik being unsuccessful sounds very strange. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
of course.
And this is why when you see Avik struggling, it's because when Avik is playing the way that he's famous for, he plays this well. But now we're going into Blood Covenant.
Vote now. Prepare for draft. Your pick. Prepare to fight. Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Fight.
Gerne nach Ziel. Aus dem Weg!
First blood. Lead taken. Stopwatch. Net master. Impressive. Lead tied.
Eine Belohnung der Welt dafür.
Lead lost.
Nani? Ende der Glückssträhne.
Revenge. Handyman. 5-minute warning.
Waffe ist bereit. Stopwatch. Na, großartig. Waffe ist bereit.
Handyman. Tank.
Aus dem Weg.
Stopwatch. lose. Vote now. Prepare for draft. Your pick. Prepare to fight. Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Fight. First blood. Weapons factory. Lead taken.
Aus dem Weg!
Stopwatch.
Benötige Unterstützung! Gerne nach Ziel.
I will not grant you that.
Auf dem Weg. Besser nach Hause.
5-minute warning.
Die haben mich komisch angeschaut. Die Waffe ist bereit. Wakana.
Impressive. Tank.
Erst schießen.
Death is the only rule.
Aus dem Weg.
Revenge.
Hast du nicht kommen sehen, was?
Stopwatch. Handyman.
5
spectacular
Meiner da.
killing spree.
Gerne nach. Eine Belohnung der Welt reicht dafür.